I think we're good. Hello. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Hope everybody's doing well and feeling well. Sagman, Kate, Sorcerer, Dragoon, Ryan, yeah, hello. Shadow Knight, what's going on? Sentinel in the hunt with a tier 1 sub. Subscribe for 39 months. Thank you so much, Sentinel. Ryan on the 40 stream streak. Executor and Wordy, what's going on? Genova, smash or pass. We're not talking about one of the altered forms, right? We're talking about the thing that was in the research lab. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I want to say smash, but then, if her son gets mad at me, I've got to worry about him. It's probably just not worth it, But hi, I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you're ready for the next week and whatever the weird challenges that the eclipse has brought us. I hope everybody enjoyed the eclipse wherever you were. I posted a picture because it got super cloudy. It was pretty clear all day, and then it got super cloudy. I want to say 45 minutes before the total, what's it called? The totality. So I got to see some of it. I actually went out when it was like 3:16 when it should have been, hey, Austin, when it should have been at as much as it was going to get here because we didn't have the total eclipse here. So I went out and I had my goggles things that it's kind of hard to explain, but I have goggles that I used to look at for the eclipses. And there were breaks in the clouds, so I was able to see some of it. It was actually really nice. Spawn Wave, let me see if I can grab this picture for you. Spawn Wave, he took a picture of it. Let me see here. And the picture that he took, what is happening on my feed right now? Here we go. The picture that he took is pretty much what I saw. Here, I'll link it to you. There you go. That's the picture that Spawn Wave took. That's pretty much what I saw. It was like, for the most part, you couldn't see anything. And then every once in a while it would peek through and it would kind of look like that. Like that's the totality of what I saw. That's everything that I saw. We were close enough where that was what we saw. If you were in Western Pennsylvania, in Ohio, and if you were in Ohio, I think all of Ohio had the total eclipse. It's just funny. I saw somebody say something about this and it was like, remember when we're kids and we're taught solar eclipses are this ultra rare thing? It was this it's like seeing Halley's Comet go by, right? They made it feel like you're probably gonna see one of these in your lifetime. And this is what, the third one in 10 years? It like in the US, I think there's been a total eclipse probably 3 times in the last 10 years. It's kind of wild. It just seems to always happen, and that's just here. In other places in the world, it happens. Also. Late cozy stream, absolutely. My head canon is that Greg is a firebender who had to disappear. Just try to prove me wrong. I was KH. I was actually at my weakest, so that was the problem. I physically couldn't stand up to stream. I had to do it. Now, I wouldn't be, if I had a choice, I would probably be a waterbender. As much as I like the idea of being an airbender, I'd probably be a waterbender. Spent the weekend helping a friend set up his emulation on his new Steam Deck, and I actually succeeded. Totally didn't worry I was going to screw up the entire time. Dragoon, I appreciate the honesty. I don't know if I want a criminal in my stream. I don't know what to tell you. You wouldn't download a Steam Deck. So why would you pirate video games? I don't know. I feel uncomfortable right now. Plays Total Eclipse of the Heart as you drive your Mitsubishi Eclipse off a cliff because nobody wants to drive a Mitsubishi Eclipse. Well, not anymore. I don't know. People like them. When Fast and Furious came out, everybody was all about them. Even though they're super, apparently, the Eclipse that Brian drove, that Paul Walker drove in the first Fast and Furious movie, apparently they're super dangerous. Like crash rating, if you get into an accident with one, you pretty much die. I'm sorry, I'm just going through all the comments here. The clouds are eclipsing the sky. Yeah, I mean it was mostly cloudy, but it peeked out every once in a while, and I got to see it, so that's nice. He's even wearing. Oh yeah, I am wearing red. Technically, Jenova can change her form at will. Well, I don't want her to look like Will either. I mean, that's a Baldur's Gate character anyway. But she also copies dead people. So, oh wait, hold on. She copies dead people. I'm back on board. Wait a minute, hold on. I'll take a tentacle or two. Look at what's happening right now. Last eclipse we're going to get for 20 years. Okay, so that's the last one. Okay, so that actually is a rare event. All right, so that's fine. So I'll be, oh my God, I'll be 65. When is it exactly, Ryan? Are you able to find out? When is it exactly? Louisiana's usually cloudy. Yeah, partial here as well. I think most places had partial eclipse. I think the U.S., like everywhere in the U.S. had at least a partial eclipse. I think it was like a big wide it was like a wide berth of where the eclipse was. The NASA posted a thing of what it looks like from space, and that's just sick looking. In fairness, the U.S. would have more given more time zones. Yeah, you're right. It does. It is wide. Manifest destiny and all of that. Also, fun fact: not looking at an eclipse is worse than normal to look at. Maybe a few percentages worse at most. But that looking at the sun for extended periods is bad for you in general. People are dumb and goes, yeah, I don't understand why. Don't look at the. I am kind of curious about that though. Why is looking at an eclipse so significantly bad? Because looking at the sun is bad. So why is looking at an eclipse? Like what's wrong with like a total eclipse, right? Most of the sun is covered. You've got the cool looking ring, maybe you've got that one little peak of sunlight. Why is looking at that dangerous? Cuz that seems like there's it's like 90% of the sunlight is gone. Wouldn't that be I feel like looking at the full sun would be way more dangerous. Hey, I didn't emulate anything modern for him. Waterbender only for bloodbending. I mean, not for bloodbend. I don't want a bloodbend. I just want a waterbend. Earth, so I can fly on top of. I mean, that's kind of cool too. Take earthbending based on Hungar, which I always thought was a pretty cool martial arts. Name a cannon, the Eclipse cannon. I got a mystery flavor lollipop, and it's root beer. Hey, don't knock root beer flavor lollipops. They're amazing. Although they do kind of burn out of interest in a little while. Literally 20. Oh, Ryan. So like April 8th, 2044. Is that what you're saying? Like, that's what I mean. I meant the actual date. Is it really April 8th? My hair will be on brand by then. Oh my God. Well, it already kind of is. Because you're just looking at the sun, but you're not looking at the sun. It's not dangerous to look at the moon. So why would looking at the what do they call it? The coronal ring or something? When there's a total eclipse, it's the black part, which is the moon, and then there's the sunny ring. But you're not really looking at 90% of the sun. It's not like if you look up and look at the sun for a half a second, you go blind. So why is an eclipse, like, I'm not when it's happening, when it's fully total eclipse? Why is that so dangerous, considering how much less sunlight that is than the actual sun? Like, I'm genuinely curious. I don't know. It's not. That's the thing. People think it's worse because it's more focused. It's more focused around the edges, but that's a myth. It's just staring at the sun is bad for you in general. But it's not like the whole thing, I don't know. I feel like, all right. I feel like if like, okay, people make it sound like looking at the sun is bad for you, but watching a sunrise doesn't make you go blind. Watching the sunset doesn't make you go blind. It's at a point where it's lower in the sky, the intensity is less, and there's literally less sunlight. So why is it okay to watch a sunrise and a sunset, but I can't stare at a total eclipse, like for even a second, right? Because that's the problem, is they make it sound like you're going to go blind if you happen to glance at it, right? Like, oh man, did you hear about the solar eclipse? It's happening right now. Is it really? And you're blind, right? That's how they make it sound. I don't know the actual date, just 2044. How was the eclipse over there? It was very cloudy over here, but I got some glimpses of it. I didn't see the total. It wasn't total where we were. Let me go ahead. And like you said, Dragon, they think that because it's a myth or because of that. No, we think that because every time there's an eclipse, don't stare at it. Is like people are shouting it from the rooftops. That eclipse is pretty much a Dune ad. It's awesome though, isn't it? Imagine that's the same reason looking at the sky when it's cloudy. There's no light, so you don't squint as much, but the damaging ultraviolet is still there. I guess maybe that's the problem. I guess it's like when you put your finger over a hose and the water bursts out as soon as you remove it. The sun just goes full black. I just feel like that would be. I feel like I feel like it would scorch the earth if that were true, right? Right? Like the full sun is nice and hot, and then the magnified sun from an eclipse. Like if that were the case, I feel like there'd just be a giant scorch shape across the surface of the earth. To your question, you can stare at an eclipse, but it's the time just before it triggers and ends that's bad for you. Is that what it is? Just a skill issue. It's a skill issue. Because the eclipse is more focused. I mean, is it though? It's a moon. It's not a magnifying glass. I don't know. I don't know. I'm egging everybody on. At sunset, you can view it from a very low angle. During eclipse, it's usually midday. No. I'm not saying an eclipse at sunrise would be kind of weird, but yeah, I'm just saying like at sunrise and sunset, you're staring right at the sun. And no one ever said, if anything, staring at sunrises and sunsets is a glorious thing. They people talk it up all the time. I've watched many sunsets and sunrises in my life, and I got to tell you, it is kind of magical. But I never hear don't stare at it. It'll make you go blind. All I got on my phone was yeah, I tried to snap a picture, but it wasn't working. Pretty sure the human retina is weaker than planet. Because historically people used to do that. It could cause issues with people would just watch it happen. I mean, yeah, that's definitely, you don't stare at it. But again, you don't stare at the sun, The fact that people have to be told not to stare at the full sun is kind of unfortunate to me. If it's a magnifying glass, what is it? It is a magnifying glass if you think of it. The sun is using the moon as a magnifying glass. Because during sunrise set, it goes through so much atmosphere and it scatters more. There you go. That's a good answer for that. People talk about it, but if you ask an eye doctor, they would tell you, in fact, don't stare at the sunset. I'm always sort of like wary of that because you gotta understand. I grew up with people saying, don't sit too close to the TV or you'll go blind. Listen, and it turns out that's not true. Right? Don't sit too close to the TV. It'll screw up your eyes and you'll go blind. Apparently, that's not true. Listen, if that other thing I kept doing wasn't making me go blind, sitting near the TV definitely wasn't going to do it. All right? If an eclipse was that dangerous, we wouldn't be. Yeah, exactly, Dragon. That's why they make it sound like it's this thing that your eyes are going to melt out of their sockets if you look at it. It's like, no, just don't look at the sun. What channels did I upload my? You can do it on follower forum or side chat 1 or 2. Yeah, your eyes are not stupid. If it hurts to look at things, then don't look. GG, your eyes are not stupid, but people are. Can we be honest here? Your eyes and your body knows how to tell you when to stop doing something. It's called pain. And your body knows that when you shouldn't be doing something, I'm going to make you hurt so you stop doing it. And what do humans do? You got to fight through the pain. It's just how we are. Yeah, if we stare at the sun, we reenact Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones 1. That was Raiders of the Lost Ark you're thinking of. Yeah, that was the first one. That was Raiders of the Lost Ark. I still have my eyesight, and I was in front of the TV a lot when I was a kid. Don't forget video games will rot your brain. Well, I don't know. Fruits. Have you met gamers? Mario 64 genuinely increases brain health in adults. No, that's actually true. When I was a kid, you always heard the stories like it'll rot your brain. I mean, they more said that about TVs, but or television. But it'll rot your brain. It'll make your eyesight go bad. You get Nintendo neck. They used to call it Nintendo neck when kids would sit on the floor and stare at the TV the whole time, so they would get hurt. And when I had glasses, some years later, I went back to get a new prescription, and my eyesight had gotten slightly better. And they said, because I play video games all day. Now it's getting worse though, but that's the age. Again, the issue in the eclipse stuff is that normally we don't stare at the sun in full brightness, but because an eclipse is special, we tend to stare at it for particularly long, which is, okay, that makes sense. That makes the best sense I can think of. Eclipse or not, looking at the sun still looks like the sun on a normal day. Fight through it, sheeple. It was the first one. CRTs gave off radiation in the early days, so yes, you could go blind. I always heard that they, but please, what TVs? I mean, I don't know how old you think I am, but I was not sitting in front of a 1940s floor model 13-inch TV. Like, this was not what I was sitting in front of. All CRTs shoot X-rays. But I mean, in that case, isn't everything kind of dangerous though? Don't fruits give off what's the fruit that sets off Geiger counters? Isn't there a fruit that is radioactive or something, or that it has? I don't know. I feel like at some point everything has some danger to it, so it just feels like being bananas. Already a garbage fruit, and they give off radiation. So am I not supposed to eat bananas? I mean, I won't eat bananas because of the trash, but am I not supposed to eat bananas because of radiation? Fruits are laced with pesticides, but everything has something like that. There's microplastics and everything. This is spinning off into the wrong discussion, but it just feels like everything is dangerous, right? Everything's got microplastics, or there's radiation, or it'll cause this, or it'll cause that, or it's got these toxic, it's got heavy metals, it's got pesticides. It's just like, just live your life. Just live your life. Don't do anything stupid. Sure, don't stare at an eclipse. Don't stare at the sun either. Bananas have radiation, but you'd have to eat so many it would kill you before the radiation even hurt you a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Isn't apple seeds? Don't apple seeds have cyanide in them? But you'd have to eat a truckload of apple seeds. You'd die from overeating before you would die from cyanide poison or something. You probably have to surround yourself. Yeah, you probably have to surround yourself in a room with hundreds of CRTs to get radiation damage from that. Having just finished Xenoblade 3, this eclipse hits differently. I haven't played it, so don't ruin it. I have it, but I refuse to play 3 until I can get a copy of 2. Yeah, newsflash. You get bombarded with radiation all the time. It's normal. I don't usually jump to this early in the stream due to the late start of the stream. Will you be playing anything today? Probably not. I do want to talk to you about that. I mean, given that we're already talking, I probably won't play 16, but there is another game that I have because I did something. I did something I shouldn't have done, but I did it for good reason. You're all gonna say it was okay. Imagine Hulk got his powers from banana radiation. Dude, Kia, there's something about yellow Hulk that sounds kind of cool, though. Yeah, live life, breathe air somehow. What's this? I don't know what that's from. Don't pineapples burn you? They pineapples like disintegrate you or something, or they digest you from the inside out. Dr. Banner pelted by bananas turns into the Hulk. Oh no. But Ryan, but he's like the quippy Hulk. So he's like, "Oh, Hulk, give you the slip." I swallowed shampoo. I think we're gonna die. It smelled like fruit. That was a lie. Wait. Banana has a larger amount of potassium, which in itself has radioactive isotopes, but of course, it's minuscule quality, of course. Oh, God, we should play Splatoon 1. Lots of different medicines contain trace elements of cyanide, which anti-vax conspiracy groups jump on. I mean, yeah, would they jump on anything? No, Logan, I won't do SA2. I won't do SA2 yet because I'm gonna dedicate real time to SA2. Days like today where we don't really have a ton of time, I usually focus on something that I can play a little bit shorter or something that I'm probably not gonna play the whole thing of, which is the game which might be the game. Probably not Helldivers, Sag. Sounds like someone got caught up in a sale. Yes. I got a game on sale. And that's 12 trucks in one sitting. Yellow Hulk would be able to peel himself. When Yellow Hulk takes damage, his skin peels and he's healed underneath. Oh my God. And then when wait, hold on. We got to revisit this at some point. Banana radiation powered Yellow Hulk. We got to figure this out later. We got to do this later. We can't do it now. Yellow Hulk, he's the fast one that just takes a step and is already in New Zealand. Oh, Yellow Hulk as a strong speedster. Okay, I can't do this. I actually just played SA2 on stream again. I love the game until grinding for Chow Racing for 100% completion. XY, thankfully, I don't do 100% completions. Oh, the truck comment was his fun fact. Oh, fun fact. Mustard is cancerous, but you need to eat 12 trucks of mustard to have a small chance of it happening. That's why everything is like that. You know what I mean? Banana Hulk needs to be canon. Are we going to get a comic artist? Oh, man. Banana Hulk has to get hurt, otherwise. Oh, Banana Hulk has to take damage, otherwise he gets all brown and spotty. There's a difference between something that's harmful in large volumes and something that's just plain harmful. Safety standards weren't really met for CRTs prior to the 70s, so your TV might not have been calibrated correctly. The saying of don't sit in front of the TV lasting for another 50 years later is just Americans being stupid. Please, Americans stupid? I was staring at the eclipse. I don't know about you, but I saw an angel. It only had one wing, though. Water is poisonous, too. I mean, oxygen is poisonous. It just takes 80 years to kill you. Look at what it does look at what rust. Isn't rust like oxide? Isn't rust oxidation? Oxygen kills you. It just takes 80 to 100 years to do it. Yeah, it's Dragoon. It's wildly bad for your eyes. It's... Staring at the sun is incredibly bad for your eyes. Yeah, that's why he has to peel himself. There's a Shazam-style superhero in kids' comics over here called Banana Man that explains everything. Oh, no. Yeah, lead paint, lead gasoline. Projects of the future. Oh, that's Blaze. That's what they meant by saying America led the way. Oh. Banana Hulk's signature dish is banana bread. I'm kind of down with this, you know. And then Banana Hulk like smack. He does the smack thing and he yells "Platano" when he does it. Oh my God, I'm in. Dihydrogen monoxide causes metals to rust. I love that. There've been like pranks and stuff where people ask about dihydrogen. What is it? Dihydrogen monoxide and. People are like, oh my God, it's chemicals. They're in everything. It's like, it's water. It's just water. We need sunlight. It gives us to live. But looking at it too long or being in it too long will kill you. Well, I mean, Dragoon, we're 70% water and yet we still drown. You know what I mean? It's too much of anything will kill you. We like to share our ideas, but if you go to Twitter, instead of the clap, Banana Hulk buries his hands in the ground and tree fists burst out and punch you. We're really gonna have to work on this Banana Hulk thing. This is Sorry, Sergeant. You missed. We started theory crafting. Yellow Hulk that gets his powers from the radiation emitted by bananas. Yeah, you get ratioed on Twitter. This is a signature move, the banana slammer. No, because you get in trouble. You get in trouble. That's the problem. Yeah, Twitter, sharing ideas on Twitter. The water issues basically is because specific parts of us are filled with water. Others not. I know. I'm just teasing. Banana Hulk is a big fan of Savannah, Georgia minor league baseball team. The Savannah Bananas. They're the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. I didn't know there was a Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. That's hilarious. So I didn't really have any topics today. It was kind of a shorter day anyway, so which I apologize for that. A couple things popped up that I had to take care of. And to be completely honest, I was actually home in time to start at about 3:00. But I wanted to see the eclipse. I wanted to, sit there and watch it for a little bit and relax a little because I had kind of a busy day yesterday. My Saturday was okay. I had some stuff that I had to do, and then, we streamed, and then I had some other things that I had to do. And then yesterday I go outside because my fence. So the storm that damaged my roof also damaged my fence. The part of the fence that's connected to one of my neighbors, my far backyard neighbor. So they didn't complain or anything, but I'm not literally it was falling over. So I had to go dig new holes for the fence posts. So I had to put 2 new fence posts in, and basically I kind of secured everything up. I dug it in. I secured everything. I screwed in all of the planks because some of the planks were coming off, I don't know what you'd call them, like a fence has posts, it has beams, and then it's got the actual fence part. I had to screw a lot of those back in. So I ended up doing, it was funny because I went outside and I was like, oh, I'm going to figure out a way to just sort of get it patchworked until I can get it fully fixed. And what I did is a solid fix. But it took almost 5 hours. So I relax, and now my body's just in pain. So I was like, oh, I'll take some extra time and I'll just relax a little bit. So that kind of cuts short today. One of the errands that I had was I went on, I go on Twitter. I follow some channels on Twitter that show you game sales and whatnot. And it was funny because they showed a game for PS5 that was on sale over the weekend. And then this morning it went on sale for the Switch. So it's like, all right, it was $40. Who's got this? This one should be easy. This one should be easy. It's on PS5 and it's on Switch. I've been wanting to get it, and now it's on sale. I absolutely had to buy it. What game did I buy? Do I even have to hold it up? Do I even have to say anything? Not live. Unicorn Overlord, which I'm sitting here like Unicorn Overlord, but really this game is awesome. This game is actually really incredible. No, it was $40. There's a demo on all the platforms. Actually, all the platforms have a demo out. The demo is a good I think I played the demo for 3 or 4 hours. It does carry over into the full game, and I gotta be honest with you, man. This game is good. I know that I talked it up a little bit, and I didn't play any of it on stream. I played the demo on my own time. The games like this, I typically play on my own time, just because the pacing of the games is usually pretty slow, especially at the beginning. But this game's incredible. If you are a fan of these types of strategy games, unbelievable. I very much enjoyed the characters. I very much enjoyed the combat. I very much enjoyed the graphics. It basically has everything that I like in one of these games. I was actually very, very pleased with it. And I was hesitant to get it because I knew that when I got it, this was going to trump everything. This was immediately, sorry, I said the T word. I knew that anything I was playing at the time was going to stop when I got either this or Baldur's Gate 3. So I was going to avoid it for a little while, but somebody said that, yeah, Marcos, this was the last copy they had, and they had to search for it. It's been out for at a lot of places. So I know that it's going to be hard to get eventually. and right now it was $40. I mean, you can't beat that for that game, and it's on Best Buy's website. You can order it from Best Buy at $40. The PS5 version is also $40. I believe the Xbox version also. Amazon, I think it's $40. And GameStop, I'm pretty sure they said it was $40. It's gonna Biden everything. No, Mr. L. I knew it was gonna Trump everything, so I was biding my time. I got it for Switch. I'll get to it eventually. Oh, look at that. I just hesitate because I don't really play strategy. Yeah, here's the thing. I feel like I need to stress this about games usually. If you don't like strategy games, you're probably not going to like it. It's just like what happened with Elden Ring. You know, when Elden Ring came out and everybody was like, oh my God, it's the new hot game to play. And then they realized, oh, I don't like Soulsborne type games. You're not going to like it. So that's what I would say. If you don't like strategy games, like if you know very much you don't like strategy games, don't bother. You're not going to like it. But if you do like strategy games, I feel like this game is just incredible. It's got, I don't know, man. Maybe I should just put that on today. It's just got a little bit of everything without too much of anything. There's even a little bit of character interaction without social links. But granted, I only finished the demo. I'm double check, Marcos. I'm pretty sure there's an Xbox version. These are abominable puns. Obama. I didn't realize I don't like Souls games. These games suck, not me. I don't like strategy games, but I'm going to force myself to play GBA Fire Emblem. I would ask Fire Emblem fans if GBA Fire Emblem is the one to start with, especially nowadays. I feel like Awakening is probably where you'd want to start. But, you know, I mean, you do you, but I you know, you guys know my feelings about Fire Emblem. Twitter will have you know that you bought a trash version. Oh, you're right about the trash version of the game. Oh, that was another thing. I don't know why trash made me think of this, but I have been looking for Octopath Traveler 2 for the Switch forever. I can find it on PS4, PS5 all the time. I could not find it on the Switch ever. I go to Best Buy today looking for this game. What is sitting on the shelf? Staring back at me on sale for, I think it was 46. It was $45.99 for some weird reason. Staring right at me like, you have got to be kidding me. If this was later in the month and I felt like I wasn't going to have to eat ramen for the next 2 weeks, I probably would have bought that too. So they go for their own reasons. Pre-Awakening can be rough. The only game I'm getting at the moment is Stellar Blade. Plus, I need to finish one of the games I bought, which is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I got Octopath 2 off Amazon a few months ago. I didn't like Awakening either. I'm mostly just doing it to beat every game on the NSL. Oh, okay, so that's a different reason. Low-key called Octopath trash. No way. I know. Ryan, I know it's good. I know it's good. I have not heard anybody have a bad word about Octopath 2. But Unicorn Overlord is right there. And it's so good. It's so good. And it came with a code for something. It's like Atlas Vanillaware Heraldy pack, which I forgot what the heraldy things were. I think there are titles and stuff you can give yourself. Oh man, brother. Okay. What the heck? Okay. All right. So before anything else, I want to decide if we want to get into something here. Sorry about that. I picked up Quake 1 and 2 for £3 each on the eShop. Was it a sale for what happened here in the East Coast United States where we had an earthquake the other day? I should finish the demo and see if it's something. I would say finish the demo. Yeah, you got DLC as well. It came with the code, like it's in the package, but I don't know. I don't know what it's for. It just says Unicorn Overlord, Atlas X Vanillaware Heraldy pack. So I don't know what actually it. Let me see if it does it say anything on the box about it. Because it's this thing. I'm not going to show you the code. It's this thing. It's like, it's a little, little pamphlet type thing, but it just tells you how to get the code. But it doesn't actually say what it is. It's not Valkyria Chronicles today. If it's it's not Valkyria Chronicles today. If it's a play and down. Wait, what? On a cool note, I have physically for Switch the entire classic Ace Attorney and Apollo Justice trilogy sets. Done. Play and done. There we go. Quick one into it. That price would make great community day games. Even they have crossplay. I question not the price. Obviously, I question just Quake itself. Like I know. Here's the thing. Those what do they call them? Like boom shooters. The Quake and the early Unreal Tournament and even early like Doom and what are the ones that they're making now that are like that, like Ultra Kill. I was never, like, back in the day, boomer shooters. I was never really into them. I never really had a culture around me that played them. I didn't really have a bunch of people that, my friends were fighting game fans. As far as multiplayer goes, they were fighting game fans. But I think the first time, see, GG, because I used to have more of a problem. I used to say that I didn't really like FPS games and FPS, like the multiplayer shooters and stuff. And Halo started to change that for me. And then I have played some of them, but I don't like the old ones still. Like the ones that I didn't like back then, I still am not really a fan of them. And I don't hate them. It wasn't my thing. I have no nostalgia for it. So there's nothing for me to like mentally fall back on. So what I end up playing is a game that I feel is like, oh, okay, I get the charm. I think I look at games like that the way some people probably look at retro games. I think people who got used to playing things like Spider-Man, God of War, like modern God of War, people who got used to playing the modern, high fidelity, high quality looking games, when they see you go back to something like Mario 3, they understand the charm, but they also say it's hard for me to go back to those games. You know what I mean? It's tough for some people to connect with it just based on the way it looks. And I think those games in that genre, I think that's what that is for me. I understand the appeal. I understand that people have tons of nostalgia for them, but I never had nostalgia for them at all. So trying to play them, sure, I can probably have some fun with them, but from a visual standpoint, I'm just not engaged in what I'm looking at. And if I'm not engaged in what I'm looking at, I don't want to continue playing it. You know what I mean? It's not to say that they're bad. It's just, just like I said, with a retro game, an actual Super Nintendo game or a Genesis game or something, people nowadays might look at that and say, yeah, I have trouble playing games that look like this because I grew up, especially younger people, they grew up with stuff that doesn't look like that. You might look at Super Nintendo and even N64 and say, this is incredible. And then you look at Atari 2600 and you say, oh my God, how did you play this? I was 5 years old and I was playing Atari 2600. So when I look at it, I see the advancements that we've made, but I also see the nostalgia. I can sit there and I can play Frogger. I can play the awful Atari 2600 Donkey Kong, which was really not that awful. I can sit there and play the Atari 2600 Pac-Man, and I can enjoy it. Why? Because I have nostalgia to fall back on. I look at it and I think, man, this takes me back, My dad loved Quake and Unreal Tournament. Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, my dad used to love boomer shooters. This is okay, big deal for me. In the homebrew community of Xbox, someone actually managed to do a breakthrough and add GZ Doom, which is a big deal since it's the first dedicated mod launcher was added to Xbox, which already caused people to add Sonic Robo Blast 2, and now Ocarina of Time is on Xbox with the PC version being added there too. I was front running in F-Zero 99 when a jump landed on me in a red ball. No! Oh, those are the worst. Those are the worst. FPS games aren't for me, single player or multiplayer. And that's, and I could say that FPSs aren't really my thing, but I loved Halo when I got to play multiplayer. I liked Halo 2 when I got to play multiplayer. More recently, stuff like, Call of Duty Warzone. I can GoldenEye, even back then, even GoldenEye, I very much enjoyed. Which GoldenEye is kind of an anomaly because that's definitely GoldenEye's probably the oldest I had a lot of fun with a multiplayer game like that. And we played it on stream. And I thought, this is a lot of fun. Why did I enjoy GoldenEye? Because I had nostalgia. Because I remember sitting up with my friends all night and playing it and doing engaging in illicit activities while we were doing that. I remember all of the silliness, and that's where I get that from. But if I played GoldenEye right now and I'd never played it before, I would not like the game. I would play it for 20 minutes and then I would say, yeah, this is not for me. And bear in mind, GoldenEye, I very much enjoyed playing with my friends. I have never beaten that game single player because on my own, without my friends, I think it's not great. Like I said, there's also why the younger audience is a lot of those younger viewers like those new Disney remakes. Yeah, it's true. I love boomer shooters. I prefer them over most shooters because they're the most arcadey-like shooters. I love the speed and the chaos. You're not wrong there. They are typically much faster in their experience. I'm a mixed bag when it comes to that. Due to being born in 95, but growing up with NES, SNES, and N64 together, even Atari, I find appreciation towards arcade games. I'm talking about home console. But you give me Adventure, and I'm calling. Yeah, could you imagine sitting there playing Adventure nowadays and trying to have fun? People couldn't do it. But if I sit there and I play Adventure, I play it for an hour. And I say, oh my God, I did this for so much. How did I play this game so much? Well, as I continue to play it. Yeah, no odd job. Golden Gun. I still say my favorite was License to Kill mode slapping only. I don't think that there's anything funnier than that. It's just the game is so janky. it's so janky, and I can't ignore it. Oddjob's hat makes a funny noise when you hit somebody with it in Nightfire. When do you think PC gamers what's this? Hold on. When do you think PC gamers like the I only play X game on PC will ever play console? Oh, okay, hold on. I think I understood that. So, what you're asking basically what would make a PC gamer play a console? A lot of that's going to depend on what kind of PC gamer they are. I mean, there are PC gamers out there who use controllers. So I feel like the transition for that kind of PC gamer to a console would just be there's a game they want to play. If they wanted to play Final Fantasy 16, and they already use controller, they could just play it on the system, assuming they have it, right? Because they can just emulate. To what I will say to that, CT, is first of all, there is the for newer games especially, there is the moral dilemma. Some people, I know we joke about it, but some people really, some people are very serious. I myself am very serious about if it is a modern game that I can buy in a store, I don't want to emulate it. I don't like doing that. More importantly, though, we also have pointed out many times, not everybody can just emulate something. Not everybody has the know-how. Not everybody wants to know how. Not everybody wants to do the digging. Not everybody wants to fine-tune their game. Not everybody has a PC that's good enough to do it. If you want to play Final Fantasy 16 right now, sure, there's a way that you can probably download the game and emulate it on your PC. What kind of PC do you have? Are you still running a GTX 750? You know what I mean? Are you still on an AMD 6330 CPU? Right? Are you so far back that your computer can't do? Yeah, if you're running on a potato and you want to play Final Fantasy 16, guess what? You're moving to the console. Granted, if you are a PC gamer, you probably have a better PC than that. But yeah, no way my PC handles Final Fantasy 16. You know, yeah, you have a baked potato there. What are these D&D spells? So, and some people don't like that. They don't like that. So they'll pick up a console. And they'll say, yeah, this is it. Now, let's say you have a mouse and keyboard gamer, someone who says, I can't use a controller, mouse and keyboard, whether it's just preference or whether there is some sort of like an actual reason for it. You know, there's some sort of accessibility reason that a mouse and keyboard worked better for them. I would say that's what's keeping them from a console. So in that regard, modern consoles especially, I mean, it's kind of been a thing for a while, but modern consoles especially, you can just put a mouse and keyboard on it. So let's say I'll just keep using Final Fantasy 16 because that's on console and not PC yet. Right? It's not on PC yet. If you want to play Final Fantasy 16 and you're a mouse and keyboard player, you might have said, oh, well, I'm not going to play it because I can't play mouse and keyboard. Except you can. Except now there probably is a way for you to get a mouse and keyboard working very well on a PS5. So it would actually be functional for them to do it. As a pro emulation person, I don't really like computer emulation, yet I respect it as is. It's easier for me to get an EverDrive with ROMs as long as I can play on my actual console. But then, you know, you get the EverDrive, you got to have the console, you got to have an adapter to hook it up to a modern display. Like, it's just, and that's sort of the same thing, AGM, like you said. For you, that works better. But for somebody who doesn't have all of that stuff, look at the barrier of entry. We talked about this with Paper Mario, with Thousand Year Door. And people were saying, oh, you know, the modern remake being $60 is going to be fine because if you want to buy it used, you'd have to buy it for $100. But even if the used a GameCube game costs $10, it doesn't change the fact that if you don't have a GameCube, you need to find a GameCube and you have to hope that it works. You still need something to hook it up to a modern display. You're going to need a memory card, right? You still have all of these hoops to jump through in order to get to the point where it is playable. Even modding a game console to play ROMs is intimidating, at least for me. And contemporary emulation is always problematic. And then it keeps being problematic. You know, oh, great, I downloaded this thing and it works fine. And then I downloaded this ROM and it works fine. And then, they changed something and now I have to reconfigure half of it again. To your point, my friend who I upset with Steam Deck on the Emu deck on his Steam Deck ran into the issue when it came to the BIOS for PS1 and 2 and where and what to do with them. And once I explained, he was like, it's not hard, but that wasn't easy. He also had you to ask. And you were able to give him a very clear answer. And you didn't paywall him by saying that you have to subscribe to your website in order for you to get the answer. I always check the required specs when it comes to PC games so I don't get caught out. I mean, like, oh no, now I need a better PC. You could use mouse and keyboard even for, well, I remember you could plug a keyboard into the, I do remember the PS2 has the USB slots and you could plug in, I used to plug a keyboard into it for typing. And I remember people saying that you can plug a mouse into it for games like Command and Conquer. Let me ask you, GG, how effective was mouse and keyboard? How responsive was mouse and keyboard if you were going to play something like Call of Duty? Because sure, it would work, but was it working well enough for you to play something fast-paced like a shooter? I mean, I remember I watched somebody try to use a mouse for Command and Conquer, and even that, they were like, yeah, it's just not responsive enough. You know, so it's like, it works, but it's like working is a technicality. I play GameCube on the Wii. Yeah, there you go. Or get a Wii and soft mod it. Well, you can get a Wii, it just plays GameCube. Basically, you have to pay more to play Paper Mario 1000 to on original hardware. I was only able to help because I had the same issue when I first started and had to spend the hour or so Googling the solution. A lot of people who find emulation easy forget that a lot of that initial work and learning doesn't go away as time goes on. Yeah, people who are like, oh yeah, emulation's easy. How long have you been doing it? 20 years? All right, well, we see the problem here, right? Do we see the difference? I have to hire someone to mod my Wii U to play ROMs because there are so many options out there, as far as I'm aware, as to mod them. No, it was a thing for the Wii, but it was a rarity due to having like 3 games to use it. Animal Crossing, Monster Hunter, Try, and there was another one I can't remember. It's the PS2. We're talking about the old keyboard and mouse with the ball in the middle. Oh my god, the Dell. That was Dell. Dell had the keyboard with the little nub. Why are people angry about that? Because it's gonna be $60, and people every time a remaster or a port or something comes out and it's full price, everybody throws a fit. And, oh my god, I can't believe it's this much money. And then there's the people that say, well, if you want to buy the original, it's this much money. It's just like, if you don't like the price, don't like the price. It's just that. For what it's worth, problem is still knowing where to look. But nowadays, you get everything for your mods. Apparently, now you can get it all on the Apple Store, right? Isn't the Apple Store going to do that? Oh wait, IBM and Lenovo had the nub. What did Dell have? I thought Dell had the nub. Didn't Dell have the nub too? It wasn't Gateway. I don't think Gateway had the nub. I could have sworn Dell had the nub. You're right, though. It was IBM. $60 for a game. Dell had a nub. Okay. Hold on. Now kind of. Yeah, you're right. Because we had a ThinkPad. I had a ThinkPad a long time ago, and the ThinkPad had a nub on it. Okay, so I guess Dell did. Yeah, Dell had it too. Yeah, Dell, IBM. Okay, I mean they're probably all made in the same factory. So, yeah. Okay, so they had one too. I was trying to think of what it was. Getting close to beating remake. I'm pretty sure the Dress a Weekend something in Aerith and Tifa. You mean the nipple? Yeah, the nipple. The nipple. I call it the nub because that's probably a little more correct. Yeah, we had one growing up. It was a choice. And it drove me crazy when the 3DS did that. Was it the 3DS had the little, it was just like, oh god, the nub is back. Why is Rebirth not Remake Part 2? Well, I mean, technically it is, but, they just called it something different. Well, they also kind of changed up what they did, I was so confused when Rebirth came out. No, I mean, that was, again, I was about to, CT, I was about to stick my foot in my mouth where I was going to say that, everybody kind of knew, but, if you're not in the know, you didn't know. The touchpad is not much better either. See, I like the touchpad. Why do people crap on touchpads? I always thought I loved the touchpad on my keyboard, on my laptops. I never had a touchpad on my laptop that I thought was crappy. You know what? You know what's got a bad touchpad? You know what's got a bad, like, I think it's because they're too sensitive. I think it's because the touchpad is too sensitive. These touchpads are like, you move a millimeter and you're on the other side of the screen. Why are they so sensitive? Can I change the sensitivity on the touch? Like when I want to type something, it's like, oh, okay, this is great. I can just sort of slide around and boop, boop, boop. And you can't, because the act of me pushing the pad down is enough movement to make me click the wrong letter. Why are they so bad? They're so moody. Stone, they're touchpads. Stone, go into search something. Like if you're gonna search on the store and you know when it brings up the thing to type, you can actually move around like a mouse. You can move, and then you click the pad, and then that enters the thing. But it's imagine this whole pad here is your entire screen. So you're like, oh, you have to move just a tiny little bit. Your keyboard that you would type in is this big. So you're like, oh, wait, oh. You literally have to rock your finger back and forth in order to get to places. It's so annoying. Was this throw the box with the touchpad? Makes the touchpad actually read my input. Yeah, I know. I hate that. Tower Fantasy has specific spots for commands on the touchpad, like touching the top right corner for the map. That trash fire is so off with this precision. Oh my god, yes, I wouldn't even bother using that. I like using the motion on it though. I don't think I use the motion really. I've never a motion controller person other than using the Wiimote for tilt, like driving and stuff. One annoying. Play Final Fantasy 14 with them. So much as breathe on the pad and it registers as a touch and activates the virtual mouse. Pulling the section you were on. You were on away. Oh. Pulling the selection you was on away. Okay. I got that. I'm using tilt controls. Remember in college, my friends found out I played in one League of Legends on MacBook's touchpad. They were like, how? I used to play WoW on my touchpad with my laptop without a mouse. It's why I played with keyboard with arrows. I was a keyboard turner, and I was full keyboard controls because I had a touchpad. Hey, Jonathan Linder. Yeah, I keep forgetting the PS4. Yeah, they have it, but you know. You use it for like driving and stuff, right? You use it for what's it called? Gran Turismo racing games and all. I'm a weirdo who has super high mouse sensitivity, using only slight thumb movements to move around the whole screen. I'm guessing you're a mouse and keyboard gamer. Did you see the eclipse? I saw a little bit of it. It got completely cloudy here, but then it started peeking through the clouds. We didn't have the full eclipse here. It was sort of mostly. I posted a picture. Well, the Spawnwave posted a picture on Twitter, and then I retweeted the picture. Actually, do I still have the? There it is. I still have it there. Yeah, and then that picture that he posted is basically what I saw. Yeah, we had a full solar eclipse that went across the country. It should be done now, so. For FPS, yes. I'm also on control. But I'm also a controller where it's better. Oh, controller player. I tried Dirt Rally 2 with DS4 motion. It wasn't good. That DS4 thing never really worked for me, to be honest with you. I mean, it worked, but it was always so janky for me. Yeah, that's what Ryan was saying. Next one's not till 2044. All right, so do we want to jump to a game? Do we want to get something in here? I don't think I have the mental capacity to play Tetris right now. I'll be sick. Yeah, I'll be. Oh my God, I'll be. You're 46. Wow. I'll be 46 this year. I will be 66 also then. Well, it depends on when it is. Oh, 56. Oh, meanie. This Splatoon. No, I don't. I can't. It's Wii's up there, and I gotta plug it all in, and God, it's such a hassle. It's such a hassle. Oh, I played Helldivers. Helldivers 1. I bought it. I showed it off last week, and everybody was saying like, I don't think you can play it. I played it. It played fine. Yeah, it ran perfectly fine. It didn't. It updated. I didn't like. Obviously, I can't try to multiplayer. I don't know if the servers. It didn't say anything. It didn't make me feel like the servers were down. So I don't know what multiplayer would be like for that game. But I did play it. I played a couple of missions just to see how it was. It's fine. It's fine. But I posted a tweet about this. The thing that it really does best, fortunately and unfortunately, is it really highlights how much more of everything Helldivers 2 is. The whole thing about like managed democracy and all of that stuff, that's in the game, but it's nowhere near to the level that it is nowadays. It didn't have the meme power that it has now. It doesn't have the goofy videos or anything. The combat itself is, it's very stiff for that kind of game, which Helldivers 2 is also kind of stiff, but I feel like you have better mobility in Helldivers 2 than you do in 1. It just feels very stiff. Also, I don't know, the fact that you're locked onto a screen with the other people, I didn't find using the stratagems. I found using the stratagems to be more difficult for some reason, you know? Now here's my question we were talking about a few weeks back. Let's say you have played and loved the first game. Would you have loved the tone shift from 1 to 2? I wouldn't say that there is a tone shift from 1 to 2. Tone shift how? Gameplay wise? Or just like presentation wise? Because again, I don't particularly think that Helldivers 2 is different from 1. I think that it is more of 1. You know, I see everything in 1 in 2, but more grandiose. And like more is just the optimal word here. That's really kind of what it is. It's just so much more of everything. Gameplay shift. Gameplay wise, personally, yes. Personally, I am more of a fan of the over the shoulder third person view. I prefer, here's a big one, I prefer the independence that it gives you. I'll tell you another reason I actually really like it now that we're talking about it. The reason I have the hardest time in Helldivers 1 throwing the grenades and the stratagems in the right places. I cannot tell you how many times I either overthrow them or I throw them and they're off to the side. Because it's not really easy to aim it properly. Helldivers 2, because of the nature of the game, because of the graphics and the way everything is structured, it's way easier. It's dramatically easier to hit a robot with a grenade than it is in Helldivers 1. It's so difficult. I have those issues in Helldivers 2 as well. So maybe that's not a... It's like going from RE to RE4 with Helldivers 1 and 2. Yeah, gameplay wise, would you? Yeah, I'm personally, I am better with that graphic style and that gameplay style, which is the third person over the shoulder. What I will say though is, if you are somebody who enjoys that, I think that you're still like 1 better. But that's really just the game. Like, if you like Helldivers because you like the presentation, and you like the killing bugs and robots and stuff, 2 is the better game. 2 is just the better game overall for all of that stuff. The only reason I think you would prefer 1 over 2 is because of the top-down gameplay. That's literally the only thing that game does over 2. Is just that style of gameplay. Gameplay shift, it depends. Helldivers 3 would be in VR in like 50 years. I mean, Helldivers 2 in VR right now would be amazing. There's your killer VR app, is Helldivers 2 in VR. In this example, you like the OG game. In this example, I like the OG game and then it changed. Again, so I kind of answered that. I kind of answered that, Dragoon. If I like the OG game, why did I like the OG game? Did I like it because of the gameplay specifically, which is top-down gameplay, or did I like it because I like the presentation of it, I like the over-the-top nature of it, I like the killing the bugs and the robots, and I like using the stratagems, and you need to use the arrow. Like, if you loved Helldivers 1 because of that stuff, I think you would like 2 better. If you liked Helldivers 1 because you like top-down gameplay or isometric gameplay, you're going to feel that that's missing from 2, obviously. But I don't care one way or the other. A good game is a good game to me. What I like about Helldivers is the overly dramatic nature of all of it. And because I'm a broken record, the audio in 2 is vastly superior in every way possible. It's the explosions hit harder, the gunshots hit harder, everything is. That's why I say everything is better in Helldivers 2. The only difference is the top-down isometric angle, three-quarter overhead is what I used to call it. Three-quarter overhead graphics versus third-person over the shoulder. That's it. To me, that's the only thing Helldivers 1 has over 2. Everything else is better. So yeah, so as far as like if you liked 1 and then you played 2, what was it about 1 that you liked? And if it was literally anything other than the fact that it was a top-down game, you're going to like 2 better. Helldivers 1 on Steam Deck is nice compared to 2, which runs a little not great. I mean, it is definitely a more modern game. Helldivers 1 was 2017, I think it was. It's kind of the same with Risk of Rain. 2 is clearly a much more advanced one, and it's 3D. I think 2 is the better game overall. There are better top-down shooters that aren't Helldivers 1. The only thing I hate about Helldivers 2 is I need PS Plus to play. Do you need? Oh wait, oh yeah, because it's oh yeah, you're right. That is a Sony game, right? Hey, Flip, you're blind now. We haven't talked about how good gameplay is often the most, but not always relevant factor to why we like a game. I have no preference in this debate, as neither Helldivers is for me. To the thing you said, if you found the old gameplay better, you probably won't find everything else better. No. I still think you might find everything better. I still think you might look and you might say, yeah, it is more over the top. The weapons are better. There's more choices to do everything. Might be easier. But if the first and what I'm saying is if the first and foremost thing is that you're looking for a top-down game, then you're not going to like it over 2. Because it literally has the one thing that you're looking for is the one thing that 2 doesn't have. But I still think that all of that stuff is better. I still think that if you like the fight for managed democracy, if you like that the Starship Troopers style, what's the word I'm looking for? If you like the fake propaganda, right? The you know what I mean? If you like that propaganda style presentation, like the humor that goes with that, Helldivers 2, satirical fascism. That's a fantastic term for that. Satirical fascism. If you liked that in the first one, 2 does it better. It's there's so much more. The video that starts out every time you come onto the ship, they have something. They have a clever line for you. There's these little ads that play that are talking about how you're supposed to do or not supposed to do things. And if you find yourself questioning the war against the automatons, turn yourself in to your local democracy officer. Like, that's hysterical. All of that's hilarious. So if you like that aspect of the first game, this game does it better. It does everything better. So are the automatons destroyed now? Apparently the automatons are cleared out. I haven't turned the game on to see, but apparently the automatons are cleared out. But now we're going to find out where the automatons holding something else back. Are the Illuminate coming back, which was like a third faction in the first game? I still think that the automatons should invade Terminid space, capture Terminids, and begin experimenting on them. And then in the space north in the northern sector, I would like to see a world where they are cyborg Terminids, where the automatons have started modifying Terminids to create weapons to fight humanity. And they try and invade us with cyborg Terminids. I'm all in on that fight. You can select their sectors now. It's just You can't select the sectors now. So yeah, so it's just the bugs. Automatons means elsewhere there are automots. Yeah, who made the automatons? I mean, they might. Well, wasn't there's like story about that too. I think there's a story about that. Automatons would just rescue the Terminators. See, I don't think they would rescue them. Automaton Bile Titan would be so cool. I have yet to do a difficulty that has a Bile Titan in it. I've been fighting the automatons for the past week. Joel told me to. Talk briefly about apparently Square wants Dragon Quest XII to be an action-based game. If you're happy with Final Fantasy, just play Dragon Quest. I didn't know that. I didn't hear that yet. A game that will complete. Yeah, I saw people talking about that. What's my level? 13. I'm almost level 14. I'm trying to get to level 15 because I want the what's the 500 kilogram bomb. I want the 500 kilogram bomb, so I'm trying to get to level 15. Yeah, I think I was last at level 13. Damn Cybermen. Two easy missions against the automatons, but I'm sure we'll see them again. Well, now the rumor is that the Illuminate are already on Earth. Apparently, actually, if anybody's playing the game right now, like I don't know if you're playing the game right now. Can you mouse over to Earth and see? Supposedly somebody posted a picture that if you mouse over to Earth, it says Terminid kills 0, Automaton kills 0, Illuminate kills 16. So supposedly there are Illuminate on Earth that are secretly getting killed and they're not telling anybody. Guys, even talking about the game. I just upset because the community man. Oh, okay, that was the Okay, Lilac. I have a that kind of touched on. I think what you were talking about, Lilac, is what I did a tweet about earlier. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what that is about. What the topic you're talking about, like the Helldivers. I think was it the Helldivers thing or was it no? It was something else. It was something else that brought it up. Whenever there's this controversy, right, like you said, with Helldivers, some sort of controversy or something, trans rights, or I don't know what the controversy is there. That's kind of the point. Half the time, I never know what these controversies are about. Unless it's about the game specifically, you know, or like Stellar Blade, for instance, right? People are bitching about Eve being an attractive character. Half the time, I never know what those things are about. I get posts, and then people retweet things, and then they retweet comments of things, and then I sit there and I look at it and I think, I don't know what the hell any of this is about. I don't know, and I don't think I want to know. Yuji Naka's out of jail and immediately blaming all his coworkers at Square, which is why DQ12 news came up in the Square shakeup, led to DQ12. See, and all of that, like all of that, Dragoon, I could barely get through that paragraph or run-on sentence. I could barely get through that. You know what, this is something that's happening. This is something that's happening to me, and I'm almost kind of grateful for it. When I hear video game controversy, and I realize the moment I realize it is not about the game, I immediately don't care. Immediately. Once you start talking about, wow, did you play that Stellar Blade demo? That was kind of bad. Oh, what was wrong with it? Well, the character has this ass that you just look at. I immediately don't care. How's the game? What is the problem? Dragon's Dogma, this stuff about the microtransactions and all of that. That I care about. Why? Because if you're hindering my ability to play the game in order to sell me microtransactions, which I'm not saying is what happened with Dragon's Dogma, but that's sort of that's the type of controversy I'm talking about. That has to do with the video game. I care. I want to know what is going on. There's microtransactions. Do the microtransactions cause me to not be able to play the game? Are they intrusive? All of that matters to me. Once I hear, well, somebody made a comment and then they didn't like the They didn't like that the characters were a little too I immediately stopped caring. All right, I don't care. What's it about? Well, why should I not play this video game? Oh, because some reporter I stopped listening to you. I immediately stopped listening to you. I don't care. Because Yuji Naka got out of jail and said that we are going to... I don't care. Is it a developer? Did a developer go on an interview and say, we're going to throw out everything that we've known about Dragon Quest up to this point? That's interesting to me. I want to know what they're talking about. I want to know why they're making that decision. How did Yuji Naka escape from prison anyway? He only has one button. I don't care. I don't care. You know what? Don't answer it. I don't care. Automaton trying to convince people of Super Earth that they're being lied to about the whole democracy. I heard that recording, Ronan. I heard there was like a recording about that. Terminate corpses are used for oil. So I'd imagine the automatons would try to rescue them. Yeah, because like, what was it? Like Earth captured Terminids and then bred them, but then they escaped back to Terminid space or something. There's a breakdown of like what actually is happening in the Helldivers universe. When I hear video game controversy, I immediately roll my eyes and I'm already scrolling as fast as possible. DD2 is great for me. To be fair, if these issues have to do with people and lives about those who make the games, but that don't make it less obnoxious. I don't care about Yuji Naka. Let DQ12 come and speak for itself. And people are mad about Booty Sword game. You've ever seen the Element 710 missions? Oh, Element 710 missions. Oh, that's kind of clever. That is kind of clever. The Leech joke answer, right? The Yuji Naka thing was separate. He jumped up to yell because the ex-director for DQ12 apparently testified against them, and DQ12 moving the action thing just came out around the same time because of the Square shakeups. Don't care. When a developer talks about it, when I see something about it, because at this point it's all nonsense, right? It's all hearsay. Something like that. He was just farming them for their blood to make Element 710. Okay. They had them populate on other planets, yeah, so they could kill. They basically like farming them. Now you finish your rant. I'm on Super Earth. How do I even see it? I think if you just mouse over to Earth, I think it shows you, or maybe you can click it. I don't know. Somebody posted a screenshot, and I don't know what the screenshot was of, or if it was even real. That was why I really didn't think about it. Like, I know that that's the joke, is like, oh, you can't trust this propaganda, but I literally can't trust the propaganda. So I wasn't sure, but I think Ronan was saying that they saw the same thing, but it was only up to 4. And when I saw it today, it was 16. That 16 Illuminant deaths on Earth. So they might be the next threat. Are we the baddies? Why skulls, though? The team for DQ12 and the dev stuff, we're hearing says they're making as a much more action-leaning game. CT, thank you so much. And how would they Twitch Prime subscribe for 40 months? 40 months. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate that. I'm hovering over Earth. It just says it's 100% liberated, and then Helldivers active. Okay, so maybe and in KIA and bullets fired. I have to find the image that I saw, but if I find it, I'll try and link it to you. I'll put it in Discord later. What time is it? Oh my god, I'm talking the whole day anyway. Wait, I'm in Helldivers. Chipotle Yuji Naka thing because he wanted to jump into relevancy and failed historically. And Dragon, you just kind of said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. Is that he wanted to jump up into relevancy and then it failed. And he fell right out of it immediately. And that's the equivalent of a real life blue check mark. This is the equivalent of somebody who, and it's not new, right? It's hardly a new thing. It's the equivalent of somebody shouting something so that everybody looks at them. And there you go. And I'm tired of looking at them. I'm tired of engaging with blue check marks just for clicks. I'm tired of discussing topics about people who are very clearly doing it because they want someone to talk about them. It serves no purpose to the development and reception of video games for Yuji Naka to open his mouth and say anything right now. DQ stuff in the Square shakeup is legit info we've heard and are seeing, and it's legit. It's a legit topic, Dragoon, but not when it's coming from someone like that. When there's a developer that stands up, when there's a demo that comes out and we see it, when there's gameplay footage that comes out and we see it, I will talk about it. But when some random ex-convict decides that he wants a little bit of attention, so he says it, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not. He just shouted. It didn't come from him. He just shouted. It doesn't matter. But it's still his name attached to it now. When you guys told me that, did you say it without saying his name? Or did it immediately come up? It immediately came up. You could be like Death Stranding 2, where it's nothing but comments. Yeah, game most assume. I said it first without. Okay, so that's fair. You did say it first without it. I'll give you that. I don't know, say you guys are questioning democracy when you should all be thankful for all the things democracy gives us. Freedom, home values, patriotism, freedom, human rights, and freedom. I'm calling my local democracy officer to report this stream. Yeah, that's what it is. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired and it's not just Yuji Naka. I'm just tired of all of that. I'm tired of any bit of gaming controversy that comes up without a video game to back it up. I'm tired of it. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted, and it's anger, but it's also just I'm exhausted. Every time I turn around, and I'm sorry to dip back into it. I wasn't allowed to play Hogwarts Legacy because I'm a bigot. If I do, I'm not supposed to play. I'm not supposed to play Stellar Blade because I'm a pervert. If I do. I'm not supposed to buy Octopath Traveler on the Nintendo Switch because 30 frames is unplayable. But I'm not supposed to prefer it on 60 on PS5 because 30 frames is totally playable. It's always something, man. It's always something. So I've figured out how I'm going to filter it. And here's how I'm going to filter it. If you bring up a topic, if a topic comes up and there is not a video game to discuss with the topic, I don't care. I don't. I'm just exhausted, man. I just want to play video games and have fun and not have to establish my political affiliations and my religious affiliations and my stance on fascism and I don't want to have to do all of that because I want to play a game with wizards in it. I don't want to have to explain to people that I don't hate the LGBT community because I want to play a fantasy game with wizards in it. I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired. So when this stuff comes up and there's a controversy about Dragon Quest going to action, show me a demo. Show me gameplay. Let me play the game for myself so I can decide. Because there are people out there that at first glance complained about Final Fantasy VII Remake being more action, and now there's people that play it and think that it's one of the best experiences they've ever had. There are people out there that love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom more than they've ever loved a Zelda game, and they are vastly different. And it's not new. People complained about Metroid Prime going to first person. And now, for a lot of people, it's the definitive Metroid experience. It's exhausting, man. It's exhausting to theory craft opinions. That's probably the best way to say it. All of this stuff, that's what it boils down to. You're theory crafting opinions. And I would rather just play a video game. It's why I play video games. Because the rest of life sucks sometimes. So you want to play a video game. But that's just a theory. An opinion-based theory. Yeah, that's what I said about the negativity before. Yeah, it's true. I don't know. We chat about it because it's just chatting, and that's what we're doing here, and it's fun, and I enjoy engaging with that sort of thing. But I notice I enjoy engaging in it separate from the games themselves. Yeah, it's not a TED Talk, man. It's so true, man. I'm numb to it. I'm guilty of some Twitter drama, but I don't care enough to focus on the negatives. I don't care if you don't like the game because it's a hallway, or it's 30 FPS, or it's 60 FPS. Whatever. The let's bitch of the week thing is. I don't care if you had a million bugs. If you want to say I'm burying my head in the sand, then leave my head in the sand. And you know what I'm going to do with my head in the sand? I'm going to play my game, and I'm probably going to have more fun than half the people out there. CT, thank you so much. Thank you so much dropping the gift sub to Chips. Thank you so much. Hey, funny number. You know what's CT? You know what's another funny number? 420. So just wait for a Avowed to come out, and then you could be a revolver-toting mage. I mean, that's oh my god. No joke, but giving us the ability to talk to each other through the internet is the best thing. Where it really is. Atomic. People talk about social media, and they talk about how social media is, it's the death of people and blah blah blah, and it's terrible and this. No, I don't think so. I think that people being able to communicate at the drop of a hat is one of the best things that's ever happened to humanity. Being able to communicate our ideas, and when we're able to use those ideas to grow. We are so much better when we are all together. Not necessarily a hive mind, but we're so much better when we're together and we do things together. We get so much as a species. We get so much more accomplished when we do that. The problem, of course, is that everybody gets to do it, and the people who are trying to sabotage it, or the people who are just they don't have the best interest of everybody and everything in mind. That makes it worse. It makes it worse. But you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. You don't get rid of the whole system because some people abuse it, or some people don't know how to use it. Apparently there are 1,278 Helldivers active in the Sol system, with 191 enemies killed and 11... In the Sol system? Really? See? That is a lot like, that's what we need to be talking about. When we get to the I don't care if you had a million bugs point, I agree. You heard the rest. Then we're burying our head to ignore the legit issues because it didn't bother me. No, but... Because you're right, you do have to draw attention because, we also say, you have to draw attention to it because you can't let the developers keep getting away with it. But something that we've talked about plenty of times before is, all right, there were 1 million bugs. Did it affect your ability to enjoy the game? See, that's the thing, is if there's a lot of bugs in the game, that needs to be brought up, but it doesn't automatically make the game bad. So, because that's what people were doing with, like, Pokemon, what was it? Scarlet and Violet. How can you enjoy that game? There's so many bugs. All right, yeah, but they didn't bother me. Okay, yeah, but there's so many bugs. Yeah, but they didn't bother me. But there's so many bugs, but they didn't. See what happens there? They're both correct. There were a lot of bugs, and it didn't bother the other person. Everybody was correct. So now they're fighting to be more correct. Is it weird, Greg, that I love Golden Sun, but I can't go back and play from the beginning as how rough? CT, that's not weird because I was playing Golden Sun last week and I already stopped. It's a good game, but to be fair, it's because at the same time I wanted to get through some of the Pixel Remaster games, and I have a bunch of other games that I'm playing, and Golden Sun just wasn't. I think I started it just because I was finished whatever game I was playing on the Switch at the time, so I was just like, oh yeah, I'll just start Golden Sun. My brain wasn't in it. My heart wasn't in it to play Golden Sun right now, but no, you're not really wrong. I ignore everything unless it affects the game. I'm mostly tuned out of the gaming controversy because it's all the same stuff and it sucks, and I don't care. Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to happen. People's attention spans are too short to hold on to all of this tomfoolery. They'll move on by next week. The real cool news is a lot of young blood are getting leadership positions in Square, who have led successful and like projects. So that could result in the future, but that's really what I wanted to bring up and discuss. But who's to say those young people don't like action games? I'm enjoying Remake so far. It's not a very no-shit complaint, but I'm already feeling preemptively frustrated because I don't have access to all three parts, and I'm going to finish the game feeling like there should be more. Yeah. You're definitely... Stone, here's what I'll say. I don't particularly think you're going to get to the end and think there should be more. They do for Remake and Rebirth. I think they did a good enough job in wrapping up both games where you feel like that is a satisfying point to end this game. It's like watching a really good TV. It's like watching a really good movie. Avengers: Infinity War. Obviously, there was more to that story. We all knew it was going to be a two-parter way before the movie came out. So there wasn't this question of, I can't believe they didn't finish the story. We knew they weren't going to finish the story. But where it wrapped up was perfect. They did everything they needed to do in that arc of the movie, and then it ended, and that was perfect. You wanted more. You wished the next part was out. But it didn't feel like, damn, there should have been another 30 minutes to that movie. When I finished Remake, I didn't think I don't like where it ended. It should have gone on for longer. I wanted there to be more. I wanted to see the next part of the story, but I didn't feel let down. At the end of Rebirth, it's the same thing. I got to the end. I didn't think, I can't believe they ended it there. Why isn't this game another 5 hours long? I thought, oh my God, that was very good. I wish there was more to the story. But there's a difference between them. One of them feels like a letdown, and the other one feels like that's a natural stopping point and you just want more. Separate art from the artist. The products are good, but the creator is a cringe a-hole. Unfortunately, I'm scared of sharing what games I'm passionate about, so I do keep it to myself. And you have to. And Kia, and the sad thing is, Kia, you also want to share your hobby. You like a game and you have fun moments in a game and you want to share it. And sometimes it feels like you can't. I still enjoy Sonic Superstars, even if it's a glitchy mess. I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm happy. Some things for sure get overblown, but it also doesn't mean, as you said, tossing the baby out with the bathwater, because it didn't bother me enough. When you have so many bugs that you can't complete a mission due to everything crashing, I'd say that drops the game down a peg or two. It can still be a great game, but now it's a 7 instead of a 9. Oh, yeah, and Blaze, the biggest thing that I've always said about any of these when it comes to like bugs and glitches and stuff is that does it affect your ability to play the game? If you literally can't finish the game because of a bug, that's not something where, oh, it didn't bother me. Of course it bothered you. You got to the last third of the game, and all of a sudden you couldn't play the game anymore. That you can't tell me that that's not going to bother you. But, every once in a while the characters show up on screen and their heads are gigantic. Sure, it kind of takes you out of the game. Like, imagine playing something like Rebirth and all of a sudden Sephiroth comes down and his leg is glitched through his head. Obviously it takes you out of the game. But are you able to play the game? Sure. You guys are talking really fast there. But I'm gonna skim. I mean, yeah, and as far as the bug thing goes, the whole Baldur's Gate thing, the whole Baldur's Gate 3, where it's like this game was perfect. And then you get to the end, you find out that the last third of the game was a disaster and some people couldn't even play it. But, and we talked about this when the Baldur's Gate 3 thing happened. The vast majority of players, that was probably fixed by the time they even got there. So I would say the majority of players never even saw that stuff. Assuming they didn't kill Asterion by accident and just restart the game, because I would. Yeah, I couldn't finish the final side quest in 7 Rebirth because of a bug. Imagine not being able to like Sonic 3 due to the Michael Jackson. Yeah, because imagine that. Imagine. I mean, please. I can't imagine not liking Sonic 3 because of all of the Michael Jackson stuff when there are so many other good reasons to not like Sonic 3. Why would you pick that one? I mean, let me tell you about Blue Spheres. All right. Hold on. Amazon's canceling all my game pre-orders. Uh-oh. That's a little weird. Is Amazon wrapping up? They're going to sell? It's a double-edged sword that everyone has the same level of voice because then every argument, every side is treated equally, which ironically is not good. Speaking of Rebirth, I haven't gotten it yet as I treated myself to my reward if I pass my driving test. And, well, guess what I'm buying tomorrow? Unicorn Overlord. It also helps that Larian Studios is more transparent when it comes to communicating with the community. You just like Sonic 3? Fair. What'd you say here? Oh my god. You gotta watch it with these. It's what I mentioned before. It's totally interesting. Most drama is worth engaging. It's just gonna leave you tired of the issues. Often allows. We acknowledge when it does actual issues to go unresolved because they get tossed in with the rest of the drama. So it's important to find it. It is important to find that balance. You're not wrong. And Dragoon, and I think, and that's kind of what I'm saying is that I'm trying to find a balance. And the way you find a balance is you filter. That's how if you want to find balance between nonsense crap and actual issues with gaming, figure out your filter. Figure out how it is you're going to filter the information and what you're going to do. How I filter it is if you are talking about a video game and that video game is literally years from being released, I don't care. If the drama is centered around people who are not actively involved in the development of the game and it is not about the game itself, I don't care. That's my filter. That's how I'm trying to filter things out. So I can do that. So that I can get down to the actual problems. I want to get to the actual issues that people are having with video games. I want to find out when a game is actually broken and it needs to be addressed. But when I find out that I'm not supposed to play this game because the assistant to the assistant director of Team 2 of the game said something horrible in a tweet 2 years ago, I cannot explain to you how much I don't care about that. And that sort of thing has happened. It's like, oh, we're supposed to cancel this person because of something they said on Twitter 8 years ago. What? Come on, man. Just because I like Sonic, that doesn't mean I'm plotting to commit or condone inside trading. Just don't snitch on me, and we're fine. People's opinions on the ending of the game gotten so charged. It made big fans of the game like Maximilian Dude just want to be done with the Final Fantasy VII fandom. And it's kind of where people are. It's kind of where people are right now. With Scarvio, a lot more people are coming out to say how they did have full playthroughs without hitting the bugs, and it was just performance hiccups. And that's what a lot of our experiences are when we aren't talking about it. We just want to talk about our playthrough and don't want to hear the game is trash or why I'm wrong for enjoying it. But of course, it gets swarmed with how the game is riddled. And, well, you must be blind and support a bad game. Or you just got lucky, right? Or you just got lucky. Yeah, just because I'm playing Jackbox doesn't mean I'm going to be funny. It really is easy to fall into I don't care, so no. Yeah, and I'm not saying no one should. I'm not saying that people shouldn't pay attention to that stuff. I'm just saying I'm not going to pay attention to it. Recently, the developmental filter against videos with why X is Y or here's why. It depends. It depends, GG. Because those titles can sometimes be used for theory crafting videos, and I do like theory crafting videos to an extent. But I have drifted, to be fair to you, I have drifted away from them because, yes, when I do see that kind of a topic, a lot of the time it tends to become more inflammatory. It's not a theory of, oh, well, why is this happening? It stops being, why do I think? And it's started to become, why is? It's like, no, that's not it at all. It's a theory. You're coming up with a theory. So make sure that it's very clear of that. But people don't do that. They come up with these ideas and they think this is the way it is. It's like, no, it's just the way you think it is. Legion Kings, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't experience this. As nothing to the conversation. I just want your opinion. Actually, no, AGM, on that I would kind of disagree because I do think that it does add something. I think that when somebody says, how can you play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it has this many bugs, and then you say, well, I didn't experience that. It's not invalidating the conversation, but it is important to understand that, all right, well, this person had this experience, but this other person didn't, which means it's not 100% problem. If every single person who gets to a certain part in a game has the exact same issue, then yeah, it would make sense to say, yeah, this is a significant problem and it needs to be absolutely 100% addressed. No questions asked. But when somebody says I had a problem at this part of the game and other people say, well, I didn't have a problem, now you're starting to get down to it. Now you're starting to figure out what the problem is. I mean, one of the things that we talked about with all of this, with the like Scarvio and with game bugs and stuff, is that a lot of the time these bugs come from people who are playing on PC. Or they're emulating, even worse. Or they're just playing on a different platform. If I say I had a problem with Unicorn Overlord and I'm playing on the Switch, and then somebody says, well, I didn't have that problem. All right, well, what are you playing it on? PS5. All right, this is great. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're doing the detective work. Now the problem sounds like a Switch problem. We saw this with Sonic Frontiers when people were saying, oh, well, pop-in. Oh, well, I didn't have that. Okay, well, what are you playing it on? Oh, well, I'm playing it on this. Or I did have that. And I'm playing it on PS5. I'm playing it on the Switch. I'm playing it on PS4. I'm playing it on PC. Slowly but surely it came out. Everybody was having that problem because it was a core game issue. It wasn't just a platform issue. Yeah, you shouldn't generalize the experience. I was like me, 40 other people in that thread and got lucky. The 10 people telling us it was riddled were the right ones. I like theory crafting in video games, but it depends. Yeah, GG, you learn to recognize clickbait patterns, and very, very heavily so. Very heavily so. There's been a few people that I follow on YouTube and stuff that I don't really click their videos too much anymore because they do that all the time. Because I can see the clickbait titles and it's fine to do as a joke, right? Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I've literally titled my stream clickbait title. Like that's fine. But after a while, there's some people that I follow on YouTube where it's just like I can't watch this video. I can't, and I get tired of clicking their videos. Or they put thumbnails. They put thumbnails that are very, very blatant misrepresentations of whatever it is. It's like it's not funny anymore. The joke. It was funny when you did it the first time 2 years ago, and now you're still doing it. Now it's not a joke anymore. If you're doing it for 2 years, it's not a joke anymore. You know what I mean? For a second, I thought Unicorn Overlord was a pony game. No. I mean, it can be. Watch this before you buy. Marcos, you didn't have to do that. Has Wood done that? You're saying beat 'em ups. Has Wood done that? Spawnwave. See, I don't really think Spawnwave does. I don't want to talk about anybody specific, but I don't feel like Spawnwave does that. I feel like Spawnwave. I feel like obviously Spawnwave puts the titles for the discussions, right? Because I don't think when Spawnwave does news. So saying, controversy hits Dragon's Dogma 2. That's a news article, right? That's fine. I don't expect them to put every single piece of the news in there, but I understand that that's what it's going to be. they're also not editorials, right? Spawnwave, they're not editorials. It's more like news. Yeah, he does. I don't know. I think that comes down to a discussion about what clickbait titles are. You know, if I say we're going to discuss the latest controversy of this game, that's not really a clickbait title. It's me telling you what we're going to do. Is that, you know, controversy hits Square Enix. All right, that's not really a clickbait title. That's me telling you that that there's a bit of controversy involving Square Enix, and we're going to talk about it. Now, if I said Square Enix is stupid because of this latest controversy, and I inject my opinion into it, that's a clickbait title. Because now I'm already steering you in a direction before you even watch it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say all the time. I'm not going to say that every topic, every video title isn't like that. But for the most part, I never really, I guess I don't read them that way. Yeah, Nintendo had a big controversy yesterday. Like, that's not a clickbait title. Nintendo had a big controversy yesterday. If they did, we're not saying they did, actually. But if they did, you know, that's not a clickbait title. That's just you saying that's what we're going to talk about. You know, there was a huge controversy against Nintendo. We're going to discuss it. That's to me, that's not clickbait. That's just, yeah, that's what it is. What did they? Wait, did they? No. I mean, not that I know of. Not yet, anyway. When the controversy was something small, like another fan game being taken down by the Pokemon company, but because it's Pokemon, it's automatically Nintendo. Yeah, you know, and then, but ironically, Marcos, in that example, for instance, if you were to say controversy hits Nintendo, you're kind of not wrong. I don't particularly think it's clickbait. It's a clickbait title because that is the issue. If anything, that's part of the story, is that Pokemon Company did something, Nintendo got crapped on. And I think that that's actually part of the story, because I always find that very fascinating when that happens. When somebody gets dumped on because of something another company did, but it's association. I think to 100% avoid clickbait, we need to have titles to use the same naming scheme as Japanese light novels, such as I got a cheat skill in another world and now I'm unrivaled in real world too. Pokemon Company went after game modders, but Nintendo got the blame for it, right? there's your news story for that. It's like, that's a lot of title. What's this? I don't know. I have to go through it. I didn't have an issue with that issue. I didn't have an issue. So there's no issue. Let's figure out how common or rare it is. Oh, for example, above the Sonic Origins had a bug, recorded it, posted it, and someone said, "I didn't have this. You must have faked it." Yeah, see, that's a problem though. But that should be clear that that's a separate problem. That shouldn't really be rolled. You shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to address that in this conversation. That's obviously a completely separate problem that somebody's doing. By the way, my Pokemon thing was just an example. No. Nothing actually. Well, nothing happened now. It's just we're just kind of a hypothetical everything here. I'm going to talk about it. They are talking about how they don't want to talk about your experience, and they're talking about their experience. People focus so much on telling the people not talking about bugs to force them to talk. See, and Lilac, I again, this is another situation where I could barely get to the end of that before I just was like, at no point did you talk about video games. At that point, you're talking about people talking about people. And it stopped being about video games 2 sentences in. That's the sort of thing. And I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying that that's where, when I see news stories and when I see controversy and when I recognize it. You ever, I don't know how many, like, I'm not a hardcore book reader, but I've read a book or two in my time. You know how when you're reading and then you get like 2 sentences into a paragraph and it becomes very clear that the rest of that paragraph is going to be a descriptive paragraph. He stepped into the room. He was greeted with sunlight coming through the windows, the red curtains blowing in the... I immediately know that the rest of that paragraph is going to describe the room that I'm in. My brain does this thing where immediately I go, okay, just skim it. Just what color are the curtains? What's the wall look like? Is there a rug? Immediately, I tune out. I tune out. And telling someone what you thought is inviting yourself to potentially hear what they thought, even if it's different. Yeah, sometimes, but not always. You know what I mean? If Dragon, if I make a Twitter post about how much I love Christmas, I don't love Christmas. If I make a Twitter post about how much I love Christmas, is that really the form for somebody to come in and randomly say, well, I hate Christmas, it's stupid? Maybe I just wanted to talk about my experience with it. Maybe, I don't know. I think that in some way, sure, it's a public forum, but also if you're having a conversation in public and you're talking on the phone, does that give anybody near you within earshot a right to comment on the things that you're discussing? If you're having a phone conversation in public about what you're going to have for dinner tonight, realistically, should somebody lean over to you and say, why would you have that on your pizza? You see what I mean? Like, it's you're in a public forum, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody has a right to interject their opinion into what you're saying. We're talking about the same thing, but different experiences, kind of telling someone that I didn't have that, so I don't want to hear it. But isn't that what they're saying too? Aren't they? If I'm saying that the game is glitchy and someone's saying I didn't have that glitch, so you're wrong. He stepped into the foreboding room of death. He moved the block unquestionably to open a door. See, that's different because in that now something's happening in there. He's moving the block. He smiled when the gate opened for him, and his journey was getting. See, that's different. Now that's an action paragraph. That's something that's happening. If you're trashing bananas in public, I'm 100% telling you you're wrong. You're wrong. Wait, why am I'm wrong and low on potassium? Why? I kind of feel that way about 7 Rebirth. I absolutely love the game. It was a solid 9 for me, but I'm worried about talking in part spoilers. The issue lies in how people are being total adults and civil with accepting other viewpoints. As you know, I love theory crafting. You've seen that with Star Wars, Loki, bits of Rebirth here and in here or Discord. I just don't want the headache. I don't want the headache. And that's it. And that's the filter. That's the filter. I don't want the headache. I don't want in that regard, Lilac, if you came up with your theories and someone said, well, this is my theory, that's fine. That's theory crafting. It's fun. But when someone says, well, your theory is stupid, all right, we immediately don't have a conversation anymore. We know glitches happen because you didn't dust. Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry. I didn't dust my console. When are we doing D&D Nintendo Edition? Oh, wait, that sounds kind of cool. I really was expecting to play a game. I'm not even lying. I really was expecting to play a game today, but I just looked at the time and realized we're out of time to play a game. Oh, brother. No, your face is stupid. It's the balance of letting yourself get the headache, but also not just automatically tuning out something else because it's not what you experience. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, should you let it happen if it's causing you a headache? You know, and I'm sort of being joking there, but I'm also kind of being serious. Like, if the discussion is causing you a headache, how much is it worth having? You know. If you're getting a headache from the discussion, there's also something to be said about whether or not you should be looked at for having those headaches. And I'm being metaphorical there, because some people are like that. Some people are like they don't want to hear anything. They don't want to hear any, and that's the thing. I don't want to not hear anything about video games. I just want it to. I just want what I hear and what I pay attention to be about video games. And half of the drama that goes on now in the gaming community is not about video games. It's and you have to admit that that's true. It comes down to what this person said or what this person did or some idea that they had about a video game that's not out for years. All of that, to me, that's not about video games. Now you're talking about people and you're talking about their interactions. And I don't care. Is it about the game? Let's talk about the game. You want to tell me about how Stellar Blade was a fantastic experience or it was a garbage experience because you can't stand the parry timing window or you thought that the controls felt a little stiff and janky or you didn't think that the action was fast enough? I want to hear all about it. I want to hear all about what you have to say. If you tell me that I'm supposed to hate that game because the developer's a perv and because the character, I tuned out. I already stopped listening to you. And that's not to say that there isn't real problems out there. If you tell me that the developer is a pedo or something, obviously that's important. That's very significant. That's not the kind of thing that we're talking about here. But if you're struggling to find something to tell me about, if it's a real drama, if it's a real problem, it shouldn't be that difficult for you to find something. I don't know. I think it's getting away from me now. He walked into the foreboding room, the walls dripping in carvings of gold, several pillars standing on. Yeah, I now Lilac, I'm gonna skim it. Pillars, wooden door, red. Okay, we're fine. We're good. It's been the same for movies for a long time. More talk is about the actors and the filming controversies. Same, yeah, it's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. It's what was the movie like? Well, who cares? Behind the scene, what was the movie like? At least with movies, it's a little more direct, right? There's a much more direct connection between them. Like I feel like with movies, if you're talking about the like what was that game High on Life where the voice actor apparently was a jerk or something, or he was a terrible person. But it's not always about that. A lot of the time it's behind the scenes stuff, and it's just like it's exhausting, man. I just want to play video games. Should you never engage because it might give you a headache? Yeah, the Morty guy, right? No, you shouldn't never engage. But you're also allowed to filter out which engagements you involve yourself in. Like I said, I don't tune myself out of everything, but I'm trying to filter out what I do tune into. People care more about you eating at McDonald's and Hellblade's 30 FPS. Even when you're talking about the actual game that it can become, I want to hear all about what you say until I disagree with it. Yeah, I mean, but that's not me. I would hope that it's clear that that's not me. And that's why, and I know, Dragon, I know that you're saying that yes, but some people are like that. But that's exactly my point. I'm not trying to discuss those people right now. I'm trying to discuss where I am and where I want to be and where I think that it's probably safe for a lot of other people to be, is to filter out all of that. Those people, I'm tired of bringing those people up. Yes, some people take it too far. And you know what? I don't want to talk about them anymore. I'm tired of talking about those people. I'm tired of talking about the people who want to bring up drama for the sake of drama. If you want to bring up a video game, fine. I want to talk about the video game. I don't even want to talk about the people who don't talk about video games. Yeah, you just have to distance yourself from it. If you're surrounded by 24/7, you'll be miserable. And you are, and you kind of are. And obviously with stuff like social media and we have phones in our pockets, we are surrounded by it all the time. But also when you're so mired in it that it games, and again, I go back to the Hogwarts Legacy. We're going to wrap up here in a second. I go back to the Hogwarts Legacy issue where you get so mired in the controversy that if you try to sit down and play the video game, your brain's kind of it's not going to be able to hear anything else. It's just going to be able to think about, and again, then you're not going to be able to talk about the game, because if you talk about the game, you're a jerk. I had I told you this story before. I was playing. I tried playing Lunar Silver Star Story when it came out on PlayStation, and I couldn't play it. And to this day, I've never gone to try and play that game. Why? Because at the time, there was this guy that worked with us, and he was in my ear all the time about how amazing it is. Up to an obnoxious point, to the point where we said, I know, it's great. You got to give me some time to play it. When I finally sat down to play it, I could not get his voice out of my head, telling me how funny this character was when I finally play it, and how great this music was when I finally play it. And I could not stop hearing his voice. I had to turn the game off, and I never went back to play the game. So that does happen, man. You listen to this stuff so much that when you actually try to sit down and play games, it like invades your thoughts. You start to think, oh my God, I had that joke before where a game came out and then, or there was something, and I would ask, like, am I even allowed to play this game? You know, am I even allowed to like this? Yeah, it very literally affected my experience. And now when here I am 20 years later, and I'm still telling that story, which means that if I sat down to play Lunar, I'd still think about it. It's such a shame because it looks like a good game. It's not pettiness. It's not pettiness. No, pettiness is me hating Hubert. That's pettiness. Also, see Earthbound. Earthbound's my fault. No one got into my head to not like Earthbound. That's one thing. I can honestly say that. No one got into my head to not like Earthbound. No one got into my head for like the Fire Emblem issue, the issues that I have with Fire Emblem. That wasn't because people got in my head. That wasn't because people said you have to do this or that, or you have to play, and then I just couldn't hear them. I played it for myself, and I just didn't like it. Earthbound, same thing. I multiple times I tried to play Earthbound, and I get 2 hours into it, and I just don't care what's happening anymore. Feel the same about 7. The internet has talked it up so much. It will not. Yeah, it's tough, Sims, and that's something that people have to do too. Is that they have to. At that point, Sims. Then it becomes a pedestal problem. Then it becomes the problem where the game is so high up on a pedestal, you don't know what opinion you're allowed to have. You feel like. Tears of the Kingdom got talked up so much that it feels like if you go to play that game right now, you either like it or you're wrong. And none of it feels like your choice. If you like it, you question whether or not it's because everybody told you it was good. If you don't like it, you question whether or not you're playing it wrong because you weren't supposed to like it. Because it got put up on a pedestal so high. And I love that game. But it got put up on a pedestal so high that it feels like if you play it and you love it, sure, there's a lot of people that are going to play it and love it and genuinely love it. But there's people who are going to say, you know, did I like it because everybody was telling me to like it? And then if you don't like it, are you even allowed to talk about it? You know what I mean? I'll see you lately. Yeah, but we've also been seeing that the Wii U was always good, right? Right? Was it the golden age? Wasn't the Wii U the golden age of gaming? Someone in the chat hearing over and over again how amazing OG RE4 is, and when they tried to finish it, they hated it and finished it to shut people up. They just want to express themselves. They're not deranged lunatics wanting to be validated 24/7. They just want their views. They just want their views to be seen. AGM, I'm not gonna finish Monster Hunter. All right. No, okay. Now I'm being obnoxious, so now I know it's time to wrap up. All right, give me 1 second here. Let me. Huh? I'm confused. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought he was gonna be there. All right. I'll sit here. Okay. That's different. You're It's the same for some anime. Oh, real quick, speaking of anime, I'm almost done. I think there's only like 24, 25 episodes. I'm almost done with Darling in the Franxx. Darling in the Franxx. I think I'm on like episode 17 or 18 for that. It's good. It's actually really good. I'm actually I wasn't sure if I was gonna dig it, but I'm digging it. I don't cave into people telling me this or that game. If I'm not interested, I'm not interested. Me with Xenoblade Chronicles. I've heard nothing. Oh, okay. Homecoming rating with a party of 3. Welcome from Homecoming stream. Give me a minute here. We're wrapping up, and then I'm gonna send you all to somewhere else. So stick with us so that I can send you somewhere. Happened to my friend Chris. To this day, he doesn't understand the hype around Resident Evil 4. It genuinely considers 5 to be the better game. Me with Xenoblade Chronicles. I've heard nothing but how amazing the story was, how much of a masterpiece it was, and I'm in chapter 14 thinking this is an okay story, but nothing amazing to me. But also because I heard nothing but good things, it also knocks it down a bit. Yeah, you can't help but be a little disappointed because you were expecting it to be so much more, and that expectation that affects people. It affects people's ability to enjoy a game when they're being told constantly that they're supposed to love it because they're going to love it. And I apologize if I had any hand in that. The one thing I will say about Xenoblade Chronicles is that our experiences were very different. I didn't do a lot of the side quests, so maybe it has to do with the flow of the story. But notice I'm also trying to explain why you're wrong and I'm right. No, but yeah, experience is going to be different for everybody. Experience is going to be different for everybody, and I think that's important. With that being said, it's not just the pedestal thing, because I will probably say my wrong opinion of Final Fantasy X because I hate that game. And Sims, what's funny is, I'm getting ready to wrap here. What's funny is you think that's like, people have convinced you that that's the wrong opinion to have about Final Fantasy X but when that game was new, that's all I heard was that people hated that game. Isn't that so strange? That's so weird to me that there's this sort of, and I think it's what we've talked about before, where when something comes out and it's brand new, there's people that like it and there's people that hate it. And then after a while, the people that hate it move on to the next thing, and the people that love it stay because they loved it. And then years later, those are the people that you hear. Oh my God, yeah, people hated 10 when it came out. I'm so many, and I was very deep in with RPG circles. Like we all played RPGs, and people were constantly crapping on that game for me. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, at launch, people hated it. Oh my God, they complained about Blitzball. They complained about Tidus and his voice. They complained about they complained about voice acting in general. People were upset that the game even had voice acting. That was the first time people really complained about Hallway Simulator. They didn't like the junction, or not the junction, the what the hell were they called back then? The summons, whatever they were called. The GFs. No, the GFs was Final Fantasy VIII. The Tidus laugh thing kind of became a meme later, but for the most part, it was just voice acting in general. The Aeons, thank you. The Sphere Grid. People hate, like, every one of these things that I just said is something that people said they hate that game because of, and then they just crap on it. And it's just so funny because you had so many other games that were successful that did similar things, but for some reason, and going, kind of talking about the action things with the modern Final Fantasy games, they didn't like them because it didn't feel like Final Fantasy. They didn't like the junction system in Final Fantasy VIII because it didn't feel like Final Fantasy. They didn't like 9. I think a lot of people, for the most part, they were okay with that. But I know that there was some complaining. I think for 9, the biggest complaint that I heard was a lot of people thought that it dragged on a little bit. But yeah, 10 was like, oh my God, the Sphere Grid sucks. Why would you do that? It's like it's a stat boost system. It's tons of other games had stat boost systems. What's the problem here? And they hated it and they crapped all over it. But they hate it, so they don't play it anymore. And then they move on. The people that love it stay, and then the reputation becomes this game was great. I mean, bear in mind, I come from I come from pre-NES era technically, but people didn't. I mean, that one kind of still lingers to this day, where I defended all the time Zelda 2. But people didn't like Zelda 2 and Mario 2. You know, there's even back then, even back during NES days, there were games that would come out. There were sequels that would come out. People, I remember people didn't like Mega Man 3. I remember when Mega Man 3 was out, and that was like the newest Mega Man, and there were people that said that 2 was better. I mean, 2 is better, but and then 4, apparently 5 is the one that everybody hates. I didn't know that about Mega Man games, but apparently 5 is the one that people just really didn't like. But yeah, that always happened. That's always been a thing. Game comes out, people that like it, people that don't like it, don't like it, but the people that don't like it move on, and the people that like it stay, so then the reputation of the game becomes it's a good game. Yeah, I am a dinosaur in gaming years, absolutely. Yeah. I can see why people wouldn't like Mega Man 3 due to Doc Robot, but I don't know what people did say back then. A lot of people just, they complain about average things, the level design, and they complain about it. Here you go. You want me to wrap up the problem here? Here's the problem. They complained about it because it was different. That's it. That is the source of it all. We'll wrap up with that. That is the source of it all. They complained about it because it was different. That's why they complained. If you have a genuine problem with the functionality of the game or something, that's a genuine problem. But when you're complaining about a system because you just don't like that system because it wasn't like that before, you just don't like it because it's different. You can have your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. You can genuinely not like something, but the vast majority of the time, I would say that people just, if it's different to them, because I've said this before, Final Fantasy Tactics, I didn't like it because it was very different. It did things dramatically different, and I didn't like them. And what happened when I actually sat down and gave them a try? It's my favorite game of all time. You just have to, if you don't like it because it's different, I would still recommend giving it a try. But if you don't like it after that, you don't like it. But move on. And let the people that did like it enjoy it. All right. But that is going to do it for today. So thank you. I apologize. I am going to apologize. I apologize for I think we had a good time. So hopefully I'm apologizing for nothing. But sorry for starting late. I had to start late just because of a bunch of other things. I did have errands to run. One of which was going to get Unicorn Overlord. But then I have like the gym and everything, so I had to do that. And then I wanted to watch the eclipse. I looked at a little bit of the eclipse. I peeked at the eclipse through the clouds. So, but yeah, so I'm sorry we started later. But tomorrow we should be back to normal time. I think we'll be okay to start at 2:00. In which case, I actually have my PS5 over here. So tomorrow we'll jump back and we'll play Final Fantasy 16. We'll get back into that. Yeah, I wanted to look at the clouds. Unicorn Overlord, I'm definitely not going to play this game on stream. This is the pacing of this game and the length of a game like this is not something that's suited for stream. But there may be a day where I want to pop in and show you what the later game looks like. There is a free demo, though. If you're interested in these kinds of games at all, I would highly recommend that you play this demo. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed this for the demo that I played. What happened to Valkyria? Valkyria Chronicles was a donation. We were playing that because we needed something to play that day, and that was donated by Dragoon. So that was why we were playing it that day. That's a game I probably won't play on stream either. There's a good chance I'm not going to play that because that again another issue with a game like that is the flow of the story is important to me, and interrupting the story constantly to have a discussion. If you notice with Final Fantasy 16, for instance, as I'm playing it, I'm quiet a lot of the time. When the story rolls up, I am kind of quiet because I am very desperately trying to hear the story of that game. But some of these other games, I would just play off stream just so that I can focus on the game. And again, again, a broken record for me. Playing it for a couple of hours a day and then telling me that I'm not allowed to play it for the rest of the day, it really does break up the game for me. And Final Fantasy 16, if I wasn't streaming it, I would have beaten that game a while ago because the story's so good. So yeah, so something like Unicorn Overlord, when I finally play Tactics Ogre, when I finally play Valkyria Chronicles, that's something I'll do off stream just so that I can play it to my heart's content and really let the story engage me. Did I catch this during the eclipse? I've seen so many of these. I've seen the Majora's Mask moon a ton of times. I've seen people's faces. That's so fun. I was going to do that too. I was going to set up a light in the background, and then when I started the stream, when I started the stream, I was going to like I was going to have a light right here, and then I was just going to go just to eclipse the light that was behind me, but I'm like, nah, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. I recommend playing it off stream. Talk about summer. Yeah, finding balance is why I come here. Because you really help create that. I try to, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to Dragon. I try to create an environment where people can, say what they want to say and not have somebody say, I disagree, so you're wrong. A total silver eclipse. I love that. All right, but so like I said, tomorrow 2 p.m. I should be able to start normal time tomorrow. For right now though, I'm gonna send you over to Clark Madness. So Clark is doing a charity event right now. They are playing Mario Party 2, 99 turns. They started this at 3 p.m. right before the eclipse, so they're gonna be doing this pretty much all day. Right now, he's got the teams on there. It says Ryan, but I think I don't know if that's the same Ryan. I don't know if that's our Ryan or a different Ryan. And someone named EXP, Linky and Jen, Trios and Wee Dude, and Mr. Awesome and Maple. Like, those are the people that are on the teams right now. Yeah, they're going to be doing this all day. Still playing World of Final Fantasy. No, after Final Fantasy 16, it's going to be Sonic. Because I was planning on playing Sonic before, but then I decided to do Final Fantasy. I was going to play Sonic, and then I got the PS5. I was gifted the PS5. So that's why I switched over to Final Fantasy 16. So after 16, I am going to do the Sonic Adventure 2 Dark Story. I think that's the one I was doing. I'll do the Dark Story. Then I'll decide after that. I do want to make I think I want to make World of Final Fantasy a stream game. But that's not going to be at least until after Sonic. But then, to be completely honest, depending on when I get through all of this and when I get through Sonic, Paper Mario is a game that I'm still kind of deciding. I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to stream Paper Mario. And when I say that, what I mean is I'm going to do like long streams all weekend. And I would probably cancel Community Day, right? Go live at like 10 in the morning and just play Paper Mario. Yeah, Thousand Year Door. And just play. If I play that on stream, because there is absolutely no way whatsoever I am buying Thousand Year Door and then playing it 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. It's just. That is absurd if anybody thinks that that's what I'm going to do. I am buying that game, and I'm going to play it pretty much nonstop. So whether or not I do that on stream is we'll see how we feel about that. Yeah, there's no way that's going to happen. Oh, the CT, the 1,000 Year Door. Yeah, 48-hour stream. I mean, not 48. I mean, I'm going to sleep, but yeah, that'll be like go to sleep, stream as long as I can, go to sleep, wake up, do what I have to do, turn the stream back on and start playing it again. Yeah. Oh, there's no way. But yeah. But thank you. Like I said, stick around after the credits and I'm going to send you over to Clark. And if you can, if you have the ability to do so, it is a donation marathon. It is a donation stream. So there is a counter going up if you want to help out. I think it's all for Children's Hospital. So if you are able to do so, please feel free to be generous over there. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Oh, that worked. Good. There we go. But thank you, everybody, for stopping in and for hanging out. Don't forget to drink your mask, wear your water, social distance. Don't forget to drink your mask. Wear your water, drink your mask, social distance whenever possible. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you all tomorrow.